Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Welcome in 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. I'm Robert alongside Craig Wells today. Lucas White behind the glass. We've got some Rangers baseball, Astros baseball. They both won yesterday. Still within a half game of each other. Hey, it would be really cool if both of them just went on like 10-game winning streaks. And the pair of them got hot. That would be awesome. And then the Rangers finished just a little bit stronger. But either way, it would be awesome for the Rangers and the Astros to just get going. They're both going right now. Of course, the Astros flipped the lead with the win over the Rangers a weekend or two ago. But the Rangers have been winning since. The Astros back and forth winning since. It's tightened up. Just a half-game difference there. But the Rangers beating the Angels and the Astros beating the Giants last night. So some good action there. We'll talk about the NFL preseason coming up. We did get a note yesterday that Drake May would not play in the first preseason game. So we might see Baron Morton for like a whole second half.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Similar to the Hall of Fame game where you just have two quarterbacks play. You had, what was it? Kenny Pickett and then Haynes King played for, maybe 3 quarters. So if they feel like they've seen enough of Tommy DeVito and they know what they have in him and he's the backup, then you might see Baron Morton for even longer.
Yep. And Haynes King out for a while.
Haynes King with the touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He'll be, I guess, out for a little bit. So
a last play of the game touchdown.
We'll see what happens there. But I believe, we were counting these up yesterday, but I believe there's 13 games this weekend with at least one Raider involved. Now, one of them is the Broncos-Falcons. That's not a player, but a Davis Webb debut as a play caller.
Okay.
So 12 games featuring players. Obviously, there's more games featuring coaches. The Commanders coaches on the sidelines. Several Red Raiders there. The 49ers with a former Red Raider coach. The Rams with a former Red Raider coach. I don't know how much Cliff Kingsbury is going to be involved. You might see him in the booth.
Yep.
I don't know where he'll be per se on game days. I don't know what his role is.
I think
it's rare that you have an assistant head coach that's not like a position coach. Yeah. I'm assuming he'll work with Matt Stafford in the offense.
And you would think that he's the voice that somebody's listening to up in this booth.
Maybe
would think.
Maybe that he's discussing the offense as the game goes on, or maybe he's more of a, Monday to Saturday coach and not really involved in game days.
Yeah.
We'll see. We don't know how that's going to work yet, but maybe we see a little bit of that with the Rams. They'll play the Chiefs. Now, I would assume you're not going to see much of if Patrick Mahomes at all. Though the Chiefs, they normally get a drive for the starters in a lot of these games, as opposed to some of these other places that don't. Though I would assume with Patrick Mahomes coming back from the ACL, you're not rushing him back out there. So I would assume he doesn't play.
Andy Reid implied in a news conference, he did not say it, but he implied, if you read between the lines, you might not see Patrick Mahomes in any preseason game.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't like that. The Cowboys have done that a lot lately, and I think that they need some sort of reps, but not coming off an injury like that. You just, there's no need for it. Unless he's out there just handing the ball off, but I think Patrick Mahomes
not going to hand the ball off.
has a feel for
Yeah.
what an NFL game feels like at this point in his career.
And you would think that they're putting him through some live action during practice, probably as many or more plays that he might get in an exhibition game.
Yeah. So you've got Lions, Bengals, Colts, Patriots, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Texans, Titans, 49ers, Broncos, Falcons, that's Davis Webb, Bucks, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, Rams, Chiefs. Technically, Cliff versus Patrick, but probably not this weekend. Just edit it for fun. Cowboys, Seahawks, which would be Terrence Steele. Panthers, Bills, Lee Hunter. Jags, Saints. This is not Tyler Shuck, though we could count him. It is Miles Cole and Tyree Wilson, both on the defensive side. And then Eagles, Ravens, which would be Erica Ezukama and Cole Wisniewski.
My opinion, there is none, but do you think there's a chance that David Bailey may say somebody other than Texas Tech when he's introduced, if he says his college?
I don't know. He was throwing the guns up at draft day and
that's what I'm saying.
Talking about how incredible Texas Tech was for a year there. I think David Bailey's the kind of guy to say his elementary school.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, that's why I said if he says.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he'd say Stanford over Texas Tech. He might.
Yeah.
You know what would not bother me? That.
Yeah.
I guess Stanford would bother me a little bit, but
yeah.
Look, he played at Stanford several years. He played at Texas Tech 1 year.
So it doesn't bother you when Terrence Steele says his high school?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't me either. I mean, I just think it's an added.
I mean, did it bother Arizona State fans when Suggs T. Sizzle said "Ball so hard, University"? I mean,
probably not.
Yeah, we know where they went. I would like for the rookies to say Texas Tech just to let everyone know, and then from there, if you want to say your elementary school or elementary school or high school, that doesn't bother me. Yeah. Now, if you're saying the school from before Texas Tech, but you finished at Texas Tech, I'd prefer Texas Tech. So Stanford might rub me a little bit wrong, but otherwise it's.
I would be surprised if David Bailey didn't say Texas Tech if he said a college.
Right.
Yeah.
You also have Asa McNamara in that Jets game.
Yeah. He's the real deal, boy. I'm telling you.
He is. I thought
the real deal.
I thought you were going to have some other punters and kickers make it in the NFL. I thought Clayton Hatfield had a chance. And then there were some other kickers, throughout the years that I thought might get a shot in the NFL. Asa McNamara just seemed like from day one, I was like, that guy's an NFL punter.
Yeah.
I mean, as a freshman, he's booting him, 48 yards at a time.
And he hardly ever missed.
No.
I mean, it was what you wanted at the time that he kicked. If you wanted
I can think of like one game where he had one or two bad kicks, and you're just like, what's wrong with that? Oh, never mind. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Do you remember was it Oklahoma State where he had like the 85-yard punt over the top of the head of the returner?
You would have thought, wasn't it Garibay that got the 62-yarder?
Yeah, Garibay I thought had a shot.
That would have given him a shot someplace. That's not easy to do.
And he tried to latch on a couple times.
Yeah. That's not easy to do.
I think maybe he was even in the Cowboys camp when they were going through.
Really?
And then obviously they found Brandon Aubrey. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice.
It's kind of a tough tough camp to be. Yeah. It's like, there just so happens to be a professional soccer player here making kicks. Every kick that he ever kicks. Of course, he struggled a bit last year. I think he needs to bounce back a little bit.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. I've got a question of the day for you. Talking a lot about Texas Tech football, obviously. Camp has started. We've seen the highlights they're putting out. We've seen some practice footage and whatever else. It's an exciting time, right, to be a Red Raider. But I'm going to go to the NFL for this question of the day. And I've got two Red Raider wide receivers that are in the mix. Two rookies. Reggie Virgil, we've already seen with the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. 5 catches. 66
yards, I think. Caleb Douglas with the Dolphins. We saw Caleb Douglas a couple of times already on social media, catching bombs from Malik Willis. As rookies, who finishes with more catches and yards? Reggie Virgil with the Cardinals, Caleb Douglas with the Dolphins. It's an either-or question today. So I think both of them have an opportunity with how the rosters are set up to have an impact.
And that's really kind of fun, not based on abilities, because I think both of them are going to get a chance to make the squads. I like Caleb Douglas's chances for opportunities more than I do Reggie Virgil. Don't ask me why. I feel like Caleb Douglas, if you've got kind of a rookie breakout, I mean, that's great or anything, I think that's got a chance to stick at Miami. Reggie Virgil would have to really have a breakout, I think, to get a lot of opportunities, a lot of passes thrown his way. I think Caleb's going to get more opportunities.
Yeah, Caleb Douglas, a higher draft pick a little bit. They picked him in the third round.
Yeah.
So, they have some faith in him in the pre-draft process. I would assume they have faith in him now that they've seen him play a little bit. Is it as easy, though, as to say you have more faith in Malik Willis than you do in Jacoby Brissett / Carson Beck?
Well, I think that's got a factor for sure.
So that's why I would say Caleb Douglas. Lucas?
Yes, you have more faith in Malik Willis than...
obviously the Liberty guys.
Yeah, of course I'm going to say him. But I do
You've been trying to fire Jordan Love for 3 years.
I mean, he went to Green Bay, and I know Love had some injuries, but Willis came in and did some good things in Green Bay, and that's what made him earn that contract in Miami, was he was able to show what he could do under a system that fit him. When Willis was drafted by Tennessee, that was definitely not the ideal situation for Willis just to go into, and then obviously they moved on from him. But I think Caleb Douglas definitely has more opportunities to get looks at, to get touchdowns, to get everything, just because I think the system fits.
Yeah.
And it starts with Willis, but it also trickles down to the receivers, to the running backs. And obviously with the big departure of Jalen Waddle, somebody in the Dolphins wide receiver room needs to step up. Why not Caleb Douglas?
I think the team, Miami, has a lot more confidence in Willis than the team, Arizona, has in Jacoby Brissett or Carson Beck being the guy. I don't think they know who the guy is yet.
I mean, they've been fighting with Brissett all offseason to pay him or not pay him.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, they paid him, but I don't think they wanted to.
1 year.
Did you?
Isn't it right?
Put a pin in the Cardinals GM situation, because I saw a story yesterday. I don't know if I believe. Currently, Caleb Douglas listed as the starter here, with Jalen Tolbert, who was in Dallas, Caleb Douglas, and Malik Washington. You also have rookie Kevin Coleman, Tutu Atwell, who most recently played with the Rams, Chris Bell, Terrence Marshall, Theo Weiss Jr., Taj Washington, and Jalen Reagor. If you remember Jalen Reagor. TCU, yeah. Long time with the Eagles, and then I don't know where he's been since then.
Son of a Red Raider.
Yes.
Monte
Reagor. Yeah.
Reagor.
He was also at the Chargers. I know that for a little bit, and then I think
Eagles, but he's been bouncing around.
Patriots. I know he was on the Patriots. Yeah, he's been around.
Reggie Virgil, currently listed as the second wide receiver behind Michael Wilson, but I think he's ahead of Semi Fehoko. I think he's ahead of Devin Duvernay. Obviously, probably different positions there. You're not going to be ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr., though, if he can't catch the ball. He is really struggling with just catching the ball. It seems to be pretty pivotal for what a wide receiver might need to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I would take Caleb Douglas to have a more successful season. But I don't think it's about the two receivers as it is about the two offenses and, quite frankly, the two teams. I think the Dolphins have a chance to be a better team than the Cardinals, though I don't know that they'll be a lot better. But I think the Cardinals are going to be, bad. I think the Dolphins are going to be average.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Dolphins are going to be the team that, they've got some good foundation. They're going to be too bad. They're going to look up and they're going to have won 7 or 8 games, something like that, and you're going to think, hey, they're young and they've got, whereas Arizona could be a dumpster fire. If you don't settle down on your quarterback,
very close.
Yeah, you don't.
When I wonder,
If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Right. I think Malik Willis will have plenty of leash.
Yeah,
he is the guy.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett, I don't think is going to have much of a leash at all, especially if Carson Beck plays well in some of these preseason games. Before Jacoby Brissett can get out there and play it all, they're going to see a bunch of Carson Beck over the next 3 weeks. If I was Jacoby Brissett, I'd be begging to get out there. He probably is just sitting back saying, "Yeah, I'm the starter, I'm the veteran, whatever else." But I don't know. I wouldn't take much credence into that, especially with a new coach. I mean, it's not like you have a lot of time there. He's brand new with the Cardinals, anyways.
He's not. You don't have that. He's the coach's guy,
right?
Working.
If anybody does, it's Carson Beck because they drafted him.
Yeah, and Carson Beck is not your.
He's a veteran already.
Yeah, he has to start to say that. He's not your typical rookie.
Yeah. He played a lot of college
He's already
games.
shaving, as Spike Dykes used to say.
He played a lot of college games. There's a thought that who was this the other day? Maybe it was Todd McShay or one of these draft guys, college football draft guys, that was saying quarterbacks are going to be better prepared now with NIL not because they know how to manage their money now, but because they're going to stay in college longer.
Yeah.
They're going to stay that extra. Dante Moore 5-10 years ago would have been out at the first chance to go to the NFL. Similarly to Darian Mensah or some of these other guys that are coming back or going to the final year somewhere else, they all would have been in camps somewhere trying to make it as rookies. And probably some of them, Dante Moore probably playing somewhere. But now they're back in college for another year, and you're going to get a whole nother year of, Dante Moore's going to play 15 games.
Are you of the opinion, or what is your opinion on the thought process that offensive football in college has changed towards the pro game and away from the getting a shotgun formation, just throw it all the time?
No, yes, but I think the NFL offense has moved toward college offense. I think college offenses got way crazy.
Yeah.
And they were like college offense. You had pro offense, and they were completely different. I think they've kind of met in the middle.
Yeah.
I think there's more pro style in college football now. I think there's more college style in NFL now. I think they've just kind of met in the middle. They're more similar today than they have been in a long time.
Boy, you sure don't hear he hadn't taken very many snaps under the center argument anymore.
No.
That's kind of gone by the wayside.
No. They can teach him. More after this. We did see Patrick Mahomes taking snaps under center with Eric Bieniemy back. Something to monitor.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. We've got a great question about scheduling We'll talk about that in the second hour. We also have the Quinnen Williams news from yesterday we'll talk about. There's a quote from Stephen Jones that, to me, is throwing a little shade at a former Dallas Cowboy player that maybe didn't get paid. But first, before we get to those two stories, let's check the calendar.
Your daily look at what's happening in the world of sports, birthdays, and holidays. Let's check the calendar.
It is National Sons and Daughters Day. National Presidential Joke Day. So if you have any jokes about presidents, let's hear them.
No, let's don't hear.
Oh, you don't like the jokes, huh?
I don't like politics jokes.
Oh, you don't like political jokes?
Political jokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because somebody always gets offended.
Sure,
and mad,
sure,
and
yeah.
We start down that road, and
I'm tempted to go look some up.
Although I start saying, although some of them are pretty darn good.
Yeah, you can find some. You can find some good ones. It is Play in the Sand Day.
Oh, there you go.
Go play some volleyball in the sand. Global Kinetic Sand Day. So 2 different sand days today.
Yeah. See, if I go play golf, I'll have a reasonable excuse for playing in the sand.
Have you ever played with the kinetic sand? You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
It's the sand that, like, when you're packing it together, it stays together, and then when you leave it alone, it falls apart.
I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah, there's the
kinetic sand.
Yeah, kinetic sand. Lucas, any birthdays?
We'll start the birthday list off the most important one. My mom is celebrating her birthday today.
Shout out.
So I've taken her out to dinner and on Saturday, and then I got to go over to her house yesterday and just spend some time with her. And
she fixed dinner for you.
No, she did not. But we did watch a little bit of Little League World Series and just had a good time together. Other individuals have a birthday today. Marvin Harrison Jr., 24 years old today. Then we have Curtis Samuel turning 30. Milky Cabrera turning 42. Chris Hemsworth turning 43. Allison Stoner turning 33. Disney Channel star.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to place her to.
She's in also the Step Up movies. She's the main girl in Step Up.
Of course, Step Up, yeah.
Joe Rogan, 59, and then Anna Gunn turning 58. She is Skylar White in the Breaking Bad TV series. And those are all the birthdays today.
Speaking of Breaking Bad, did either one of you ever have the desire to go to Albuquerque to see the house that they filmed Breaking Bad in?
Not only did I have the desire,
you completed that
we
task?
did it. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, took a picture with the house. Now this is before it got like they put a big fence up and got tired of everyone going down there. This is maybe before the last season or right after the last season. But we went to the Pollo Hermanos restaurant, which is not what it's called in real life, but they've got a big mural in there of the chicken guy. And then we went to the dry cleaners outside of town that they shoot the basement scenes in. And then what else? There's a few other attractions. Oh, the car wash.
Okay.
Went to the car wash. I probably have pictures of it somewhere.
Yeah, I was not a Breaking Bad guy. Yeah. My grandson was, and he kept me informed.
Yeah. So it's a great show.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy. It's probably right after college. We're just like, all right, we don't have anything else to do for today. Let's just drive to Albuquerque.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah.
In 1919, the Green Bay Packers Football Club was founded by George Calhoun and Curly Lambeau and is named after the sponsor, Indian Packing Company. So if you ever wondered where the Packers came from, it's after the Indian Packing Company. And Lambeau Field is Curly Lambeau, the original, one of two original founders. And it is the only non-corporate owned NFL team.
That's right. Owned by the people.
Right. Yep. You know, Boston Celtics at one time tried that, and they sold shares.
Uh-huh.
I've got a share.
Nice. And they took it back?
Yeah, they did take it back. I had one share. You could buy one share.
Yeah.
And so we had the boss I was working for at that time, a huge Boston fan. So we bought him 10 shares or something like that for his birthday. I bought me one at the same time, and I've still got my little Celtics stock certificate. And in 1929, New York Yankees slugger Babe Ruth becomes the first major league player to hit 500 home runs in a 6-5 loss to the Indians at League Park in Cleveland. And there's a lot of tennis and golf and some baseball and so forth, but nothing that really sticks out to you.
Don't need any tennis news here.
But it is Hulk Hogan's birthday today also, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, it would have been his
Terry
birthday.
Bollea?
Yeah, would have been his birthday.
Yeah.
So WWE shout out to
Rest in peace,
Hulk.
brother.
Hulk Hogan. That's about it.
On this day in 1991, Rugrats,
Oh,
Doug, and Ren and Stimpy all debuted on Nickelodeon. And I guarantee you I could still whistle the Doug theme.
were you a Nickelodeon kid?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's right in my wheelhouse. We didn't watch much Ren and Stimpy in my house. And we were disallowed from watching Rugrats for a while, and then we got to watch it because Angelica was disrespectful.
Was Blue's Clues and
That's a little bit
Teletubbies, that was after you?
A little bit after my time.
Okay.
On the Blues Clues, I did watch it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it, but it was just on the cusp there.
Okay.
And the Teletubbies, I never watched that. That was too weird.
Yeah, it's sad that your generation didn't get to grow up with Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny and
we did.
Looney Tunes. Yeah, but you had different kinds of cartoons.
Sure, yeah. But we had the Saturday morning
Elmer
cartoons.
Fudd.
Yeah. Watched plenty of those as well.
Daffy Duck.
Yeah. And they kind of had a renaissance when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then we had
I enjoyed
the
watching
Animaniacs
Popeye and Mighty Mouse
Yeah.
and Woody the Woodpecker.
Yeah. They, what is it, TV Land that has a comedy, a cartoon hour or something every now and then, and
Yeah.
you'll see a bunch of the old black and white cartoons. And
my granddad had a bunch of VHS of cartoons. Not a bunch, maybe 2 or 3. So every time we went down there, I would either watch like the Cowboys Super Bowl
yeah.
on VHS or those cartoons. And they were like Betty Boop and some of those other ones.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, that were a little
Yep.
just the different time that
Yep.
they made to some of those cartoons.
If you went up to a group of college or high school seniors right now, and you said, how many of you have watched, there's 10 of them, how many of you have watched a VHS tape? How many of them would say yes?
I would
10.
I'd give credit to one.
Okay.
Yeah, surely one of them. I don't know that I've watched a VHS in the last 18 years.
If you want to watch a VHS, which your parents kept or your grandparents kept, you're out of luck just about.
Yeah, you'd have to go to eBay or something to get a VHS player. I have one VHS in my possession. It's Cool Runnings.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one I kept.
I've got some of my kids, and that's about it.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It's the End of the Bench. Quinnen Williams got a new contract yesterday, an extension there from the Dallas Cowboys, which does free up cap space like by $10 million over the next few years, so that's a good news.
Yep.
I've been trying to say this offseason that the Dallas Cowboys are running things a little bit differently. It does feel like, you've had some progressive coaching hires with Christian Parker as opposed to maybe a retread defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator for that matter. There's very little contract drama. Even with Pickens, it seems like he's bought into the franchise and has accepted the franchise tag, and they're having conversations to move forward. It doesn't feel like some of the drama from previous years, even with it being George Pickens, which you expect to have some drama there. And now you have now it's not quite the anticipatory kind of deal that you would like to see, because it is a bit of a response from you did it after Jalen Carter, you did it after Jeffrey Simmons, but it does feel like you didn't wait till the last possible minute for Quinnen Williams, which you've done in the past with some of your other players, like a wide receiver, like a quarterback, like a defensive end, edge rusher, and Michael Parsons. But it does feel like you have a little bit of a different feel in the front office right now, which is crazy to say, I know. And it's one offseason as opposed to the last 30 that you've had for Jerry Jones. But it does feel like the Cowboys are running things a little more
professionally.
Maybe that is the word. That's what I was going to say, but I was trying to think. So, yeah, professionally. It does feel like the Cowboys are a little more professional this offseason. So this is from Stephen Jones on Quinnen Williams, new deal. He's a great player, one of the hardest practicing guys out there. Every time he lines up, you feel him. He doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't say, hey, I got this, I'll let my play do the talking. You see it. He's the best player on the field whenever he's out there. The other thing is just what a man he is. He's a leader. We didn't have a lot of leadership on the defense for the last couple years.
You think?
To have him and Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary, I think they really picked it up over there in terms of culture and the leadership. Now, I think DeMarcus Lawrence was a good leader. And he went off to Seattle. I think what? Did you just not have him last year? Was that 2 years? Either way. In the void of DeMarcus Lawrence, I think you really were lacking leadership defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that falls on Michael Parsons. And this quote in particular does feel like, we wanted to keep him and pay him because he's not a distraction, because he's not out tweeting about feet, because he's not on, a bunch of podcasts, because he's not out, ranking quarterbacks and not putting Dak Prescott in the top 10, because he's not out saying he has the highest IQ of any edge rusher in the world, like Micah Parsons was yesterday, when he's not even playing. It does feel like there's a bit of a
team
departure. And look, I still get hammered when I say that not signing Micah Parsons long-term was a good idea, because he's very productive on the field.
Wasn't a great teammate, though.
No, he was a terrible teammate. And that's not really been something the Cowboys have cared about in the past. But it does feel like they're inching maybe toward some of that, which I think is a great deal.
I loved one of the Stephen Jones comments that he made, and one of the reporters asked him, man, that wasn't very contentious at all, that negotiation. And he said, and I'll paraphrase it, it's amazing what can get done when you have two parties that want it to get done. So that tells me that they're not going in there with a negative connotation right off bat, and they're looking at, and what you just quoted, they're looking at the guy, not just, how many tackles he made. And I agree with you. I think the word professional, I don't know if it's Stephen Jones being more assertive and bringing that professionalism with him, or is it Jerry Jones realizing that, if we're going to have a team, we've got to change our ways. I doubt very seriously if that happened, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, and maybe it is just. It's hard to say that Jerry has matured at 82, but it does feel like at some point now. Stephen Jones has been in charge of the contract negotiations for a long time. This is Stephen Jones' job. He's the money guy right now for the Cowboys and has been. Now Jerry's still in name the GM, and so he is also involved in those contract negotiations. But it just feels like maybe even Brian Schottenheimer has more of a hand in things, which is just shocking to me that Brian Schottenheimer is the guy that has steadied the ship, because this is a guy that's been in football for 30 years, in the NFL for 30 years, and never really had a shot to be a head coach. Not even close.
Yeah.
And was, the play caller some, but has been an offensive coordinator for coaches that were doing play calling. Now he has the opportunity to be the head coach, and it does feel like there's been a marked shift. And to bail on the defensive coordinator last year after one season was a big move to me. And then it didn't feel like Jerry Jones went out and was like, hey, let's go get a young up-and-coming guy, because why not do that for Al Harris, who you had on staff the year before? You could have just given the defense to Al Harris a year ago, as opposed to hiring the old retread from the Chicago Bears that didn't know when to take a timeout and was one of the worst head coaches in the NFL. So I've been saying this, but it is encouraging to me as a Dallas Cowboys fan to see things like this. Now, I still have a lot of issues with Stephen Jones from what he's done in the last 5 to 10 years. I don't think Jerry Jones has completely changed. But if they make a big move heading into this season, if they go get Max Crosby for something, if they do end up signing Von Miller, who is still Instagramming about the Dallas Cowboys, I do think that there's shades of being all in, which is what they said 2 years ago when they did absolutely nothing, and what drove me away from the Cowboys for a year and put me in a sabbatical with the Redskins.
I think they saw something in Schottenheimer, because not only did they name him the coach, they did it pretty quick. And I think they have – you can see his touch on a lot of things. Did you watch I know you did, the draft room for the Cowboys? And so Schottenheimer was he speak softly and carry a big stick,
at the time, it did feel like the Cowboys just struck out on some big names.
Yeah.
They were sniffing around Bill Belichick. I'm glad that did not happen. I did not want that to happen at the time. Now, 3-4 years before that, if you could have, gotten Bill Belichick and Tom Brady or whatever it was, I know that was a long shot at the time, but that would have been different. It did feel like, though, they were striking out with some big names, and it's just like, okay, what are you going to do? Because it did feel like Schottenheimer was a Band-Aid stuck on it because they couldn't hire anybody else, because Mike McCarthy, who it seemed like they wanted to keep, just left.
Yeah.
He quit. Did you luck into Schottenheimer, or did they take notice? I have a hard time giving Jerry and Steven any credit, but the wins are stacking up this offseason, in my opinion. I think this defensive staff is really good. I think they did really well in the draft again. At positions where they have not spent a lot of capital, safety. At positions that are really important in the NFL, safety, edge rusher, linebacker. I don't know. It feels like the Cowboys are on the cusp of really getting it turned around.
They haven't been in the news very much.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. This from Bobby Hot Dogs. He says, from Monster's perspective, they want their tacky logo to stand out as much as possible. They don't want it to blend in and to match. And I do understand that. I think that makes sense from Monster's perspective. It just feels like Monster got such a deal that they might be able to have some sort of, the Big 12 is they might have some sort of recourse to have it match a little bit. No, you think about the branding aspects of what Monster could do.
Well, if you think
they could sell in the cities of these Big 12 teams the original Monster with a double T and a red logo.
You think if a beer company figured that out,
yes,
you know, that
you have
Monster
Bud Light in a bunch of markets that have double T's and Longhorns and all this stuff in college markets. Why could Monster not sell limited runs of double T cans? Now, even if it's the green logo on the can, it feels like they could work out some sort of deal. Yeah, where they could have it match a little bit. Now, I'm still. Now you're gonna have a red jersey week 1. I'm intrigued to see what that Monster logo looks like on the red jersey. Now, it is a black square, so I don't think it's going to be as gaudy as it might look on some, but I don't know.
The size to me is the key.
Yeah.
The size to me is the key. They need to keep it to where it's not the biggest patches on that jersey.
Right. We'll see. And with some of these schools that have the extra patch on there, we'll have to see what it looks like there. And plus, I mean, you have the Mahomes logo prominently on there as well. So
and everybody, I assume, has a Nike or Adidas logo on theirs.
Sure.
Or I guess Under Armour still got.
It just feels like the Mahomes logo might be a little bigger than just as far as residents on the jersey.
But, you know, I don't understand, one, why they couldn't localize it. But, two, why could you not keep the Big 12 logo like you did in football and apply it to basketball or whatever? I mean, I don't know. On the jersey,
or maybe that's the school's choice. Maybe Houston just wanted the red double T.
Yeah.
And maybe or not the red double T, the red Big 12 logo. Maybe Texas Tech can
maybe
there's just going
maybe there's going to be
I said it again. Monster Big 12 logo. Maybe Texas Tech can just have a white Big 12 logo.
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks like on the football field, and it looks fine.
And to put a white Monster label right next to it, why not?
It would look better.
Why not?
But I do get that Monster wants some brand identity, but
well, you're going to get it if you've got 3 green.
If you're drinking Monsters, if you're already drinking Monsters, you know what that M is.
Yeah.
If you don't drink a Monster, you probably don't know what it is anyways.
And
whether it's green or gold or blue, I don't know. It just feels like they could have worked with the Big 12 a little bit more. Or the Big 12 was just like, yes, sir.
Well,
$20 million, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Whatever you want. Thank you.
And you would have thought that this had been well thought out, and designers and everybody would have gotten involved. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they did. Maybe they AI'd it. Who knows? Now, there's a strange story going on in the Little League World Series. I don't... I don't know that... I just don't know on this story. The courts are getting involved. We've got lawyers. They are trying to have a championship game, I think, between Tulsa and Bernie to move on to Williamsport.
And Bernie has already gone home?
Bernie has gone home, and they're preparing for Williamsport because Tulsa was ruled ineligible. Now Tulsa is getting a temporary restraining order to go play, but Bernie's refusing. And so it's, I guess, up to the Little League Commission that they're going to have to put a team through. And this is all based on some eligibility of a player with the Tulsa team, where they're saying he didn't play with the rest of the kids, but he was playing in the Challenger League that was in the area. But the Challenger League is not in the normal Little League. I don't know. It's real murky.
Yeah.
Real murky.
And it's really kind of funny that the disqualification, the exact, and I understand, leave the kid's name out. Absolutely leave it out. But give us the reason.
Right.
You know, come on, Little League, give us the reason. Why? I mean, it wasn't, there's nothing official saying it wasn't because he was 13 or it wasn't because he, you know, had played 6 years of Little League or something. I mean, just give us a reason.
Yeah. And who turned it in, how to figure it out, all that stuff. I don't know. It's
sad that
sure
Little League kids are getting drug into a courtroom.
And it's the adults.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the adults that are making that happen.
Yeah.
This from the text line as well. It says, why is Signetti not complaining about struggling to find a Power 4 opponent? Because they're not trying to.
That's right. They have no interest.
They're not going to play a Power 4 opponent. I mean, if you want to troll me, which is fine, I actually invite it. Do a little bit of research. I mean, the Indiana future schedules are as follows. This is the Indiana football future schedules. In 2026, this season, they'll play North Texas, Howard, and Western Kentucky. In 2027, they'll play Kennesaw State, Indiana State, and UMass. In 2028, they'll play Austin Peay, Eastern Michigan, and Miami of Ohio. In 2029, they'll play Ball State, Eastern Illinois, and Western Kentucky again. In 2030, Indiana State and Delaware on the schedule. In 2032, UConn is the only game on the schedule. Now, the Big 12 has a rule where you have to schedule a Power 4 opponent in the non-conference. And I believe that's the Art Briles rule, because Baylor was playing a bunch of paddywhacks non-conference.
They had some Indiana schedules.
The Big Ten has gone to the 9th Big Ten game recently, I think in 23 or 24 when they, got the expansion done. But they have not said that you have to play a Power 4 outside of the conference. The Big 12 does say that. So the Big 12 is trying to find a Power 4 game. Texas Tech in the Big 12. Indiana does not have to do that. And Indiana is not attempting to do that.
And didn't the SEC do away with their second from the last week non-P4 game for each team?
Yeah, they just added the conference game.
Okay.
And I think they did put that conference game later in the season as opposed to in week 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But now the 4 Power 4 leagues are all playing 9 games. They've all caught up
for the first time.
For the first time, this year at the SEC and the ACC. But I don't think all Power 4 teams are forced you to play a 10th Power 4 game. The Big 10 does not. The Big 12 does. Hence, Joey McGuire trying to find a Power 4 game.
Yep. And go back what started that. Why haven't we talked to Indiana? Because Indiana doesn't want to talk.
No.
They have no desire. You just read off their schedule, and they've got, 6 or 7 years of teams less than Power 4.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the End of the Bench. Apparently, there was no Special Needs Challenger League where they were from in Tulsa, which allowed siblings to also play in that region. Supposedly, there was no Special Needs League. So they feel it was them being shady to get the player eligible, nothing to do with age. It had to do with location boundary infractions, as the Little League has very strict regions and residence requirements.
Sad situation for all parties involved.
I agree with this text. Monster didn't pay enough to warrant so much creative control. However, your mark is an idiot and didn't think things through. His team are apparently morons as well, and they didn't suggest to him otherwise. That is from the texter, but I co-sign. Man, I don't think... $20 million is a lot of money out of context, but in context, it's just... there should have been more options for the Big 12.
Yep.
It really did seem like the Monster was like, hey, do y'all want to do this? And the Big 12 was like, sure, we'll sign. Where do we sign?
Sign us up.
There didn't seem like there was much back and forth there where the Big 12 was.
Do you think your Mark and his staff have a blank check agreement with the school to, if they see a deal, sign it and bring it to us? Or do you think
there's probably that little
went
executive? I think there's that executive committee that probably goes over some of that stuff, which is Kansas president and somebody else you probably don't want in charge.
Yeah. I just wondered how all that came about, because on the surface it does not look like a good deal.
The league agreed to the Redbird deal for the conference.
Right.
Because Redbird was going to help facilitate deals like this. And I would assume Redbird was involved with the Monster deal.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's my assumption. Because that's the first deal
that was the purpose of signing with Redbird, is to get to national products that you might not have that opportunity otherwise.
It is time for Ask the Benchwarmers. You can get your questions in here on the Yates Flooring Center chat line via the app, brought to you by Happy State Bank, or the website, doubleTSportsNetwork.com. We will answer them all here in the First United Bank studio. Benchwarmers, there's a lot of false notions and misinformation being thrown at tech right now. What's the one thing you've seen someone lie about regarding tech that you wish would clear up? Meaning everybody would suddenly know the truth and stop talking about it and spewing lies about it. I think the first one, which I don't really care that there's so much misinformation about. If people want to say that Texas Tech is paying double everyone else, that doesn't bother me. Even when it's used in a negative context. It's like, you guys are paying high school kids more than anyone else. Yeah, tell all the high school kids.
Yeah.
Tell all the 5-stars
That's
if
right.
they want to make the most money to come talk to Texas Tech. Like that kind of misinformation doesn't bother me. Texas Tech is spending $80 million. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, tell all the transfers.
Yep.
Tell everyone at your school. Tell everyone at Texas. Tell everyone at LSU. All the people complaining about it. Tell all your Tennessee Volunteers. Tell all the SEC players that if they want to make real money, come live in Lubbock for a year. That kind of misinformation doesn't bother me at all. Would it be a little less cumbersome to be on the internet from day to day than to have to wade through a bunch of that crap? Yes. But that kind of stuff just doesn't bother me. Like any of the misinformation out there about Texas Tech. Now, some of the scheduling stuff I'd like to clear up, but until you know more, you really don't know. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we're going on the mercy of what people we believe in and what their statements are. But I kind of agree with you as far as it bothered me at first because I knew that Tech was not spending 80 and everybody else was spending 10.
Right.
You know, and that's the implications that they wanted to give was that only reason Tech had a team is because they were outspending everybody. As more and more information becomes available and they list the top 10 and Tech's not even in the top 10 for a team this year on what they spent, that has become less and less bothersome to me. I mean, it just doesn't bother me.
I think it's more annoying in the softball discourse.
Yes.
Because that is all you get.
Yep.
And it's all of these, specifically SEC fans that are just so torn up about it.
Well, and the media didn't help. When they made the College World Series for 2 years, and all you talked about, it wasn't Najee Kennedy pitching. It was $1 million pitcher Najee Kennedy pitching, you know. Yeah. There were 8 players in the portal playing for the other team, and we had 3, but we have more portal people than anybody. No, that's not right.
Did you see the story? Well, it was closer to right than that AI graphic that was being shared around was true, but who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's college sports now. Did you see the story from this offseason? The softball discourse. I have a really hard time sometimes being a softball fan because it seems like a lot of the softball fans are maybe new sports fans or just don't like a lot of sports, but they like softball and they don't really understand how everything works. But there's this one in particular softball writer that is always stirring it up and hates Texas Tech. Huh. And they wrote a story when Najee Kennedy was playing professionally this summer that her team hired an outside coach to come and help her, and it just so happened to be the coach that worked with her at Stanford.
Yep.
And their thing was she regressed at Texas Tech, and so they didn't go hire the Texas Tech pitching coach. They went and hired the Stanford pitching coach because she was the one that was going to fix what Texas Tech broke. Well, the Stanford coach is retired.
Yeah.
The Tech pitching coach is busy, recruiting and otherwise.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as easy as that.
Yeah, exactly.
She had time
to
come help Najee Kennedy. And if they would have asked, Archibald, I'm sure she would have made the time. But
and who knows that she didn't?
It wasn't.
She didn't tell Najee, I can't. I don't have time.
It's not it's not always some conspiracy theory. And maybe Najee wanted to reconnect with the Stanford coach. Maybe it was Najee's decision.
To think that
but not because she was broken at Texas Tech.
I started to say to make the statement that she regressed at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Apparently, you did not watch games.
T-Money 806 says 100% agree plus add in, sorry your school's so broke. This texter says the Lubbock Judge thing was misinformation that bothered me. And the journalist Pete Thamel with more misinformation. Yeah, the Sorsby stuff I'm just so over. I didn't really put that in there. It seems to be past, its expiration date. But if we wanted to relitigate a lot of that misinformation, there's a ton of it that I would dig into. But I guess it's going to get brought up again once you start playing. And maybe there's some misinformation there that's still going to be quoted, but now that the flag debut patch has been pulled, what are you guys chasing now? Probably some of the Spurs guys, VJ Edgecombe. There's the other rookies from last year, Dylan Harper, and just any other card. I just want to open up some cards and get the thrill of it.
There's some $1,000 cards in there somewhere.
Yeah, H-Cop says, thank you, Robert. That's why I look to you to give us the best takes. Well, thank you, H-Cop. Now go annoy Choice for me because it's funny. More great sports talk coming up, but it's the bottom line.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.